Support WrestleTalk!
Oh, Cover Slayer. Order the brand new issue of the WrestleTalk magazine now by clicking the link below.
A huge WWE Star Returns! They reform a tag team, and the streak of pointless NXT call-ups continues on the blue brand. I am Luke Owen. Vote in the poll above my head to let me know what you thought of the show using this rating system: smack damn, smacktastic, smack bang in the middle, Ellsworthy, and a smack in the face. This is the 26th of June 2018 edition of SmackDown Live in about 4 minutes. The Miz opened SmackDown Live with MizTV featuring the Bludgeon Brothers, where he recapped what happened last week and then offered Harper and Rowan a spot in the new MizTourage or roles in Rough Ref. To be honest, I'd take the film, lads. The brothers started to make a move on Miz when Bryan interrupted and challenged either man to a match, which Harper accepted. This was a good opener to the show, keeping the plate spinning for Miz versus Bryan while continuing his feud with the Bludgeon Brothers and setting up that Harper and Rowan are not affiliated with the Miz. After blitzing pancakes into a smoothie backstage, Xavier Woods took on Rusev in an excellent showcase match for the new #1 contender to AJ Styles. There was a cute moment where Big E held up a speech bubble to Rusev that said, "Ouch."
Hey, I don't remember saying that.
But Rusev dominated and locked in the accolade for the win. This was all good stuff. It showed that while Rusev Day can be a comedy act and are still definitely heels, Rusev has a lot of intensity to make him a credible challenger for the WWE Championship. Backstage, Lana and Naomi were arguing about dancing when the cast of Netflix's Glow showed up. And wait a second, I'm getting something in. Yep, no, I think they're gonna try and break some sort of world record. Can they really do it? They've been training really hard for this moment. Can they? Yes! 9 SmackDown women standing in a row! Hot damn, 9! Whoa! The camera can barely keep them all in shot, there's so many! Oh, congratulations! 9! This was a fine little segment that teamed a tease-up of Lana and Naomi because, sure, why not? And ended with a tremendously talented Alison Brie doing a Police Squad-esque freeze-frame joke. Interesting that Kia Stevens, who stars in Glow and was a former wrestler even entering in the Royal Rumble, was not in this segment. I mean, she's probably retired, but it seems like it would have been a good chance for a comedy match to promote the show. It was announced that Shinsuke Nakamura was injured and wouldn't have his United States Championship match against Jeff Hardy, who instead issued an open challenge that was answered by Eric Young of Sanity. Now, this is a better way to debut the act, sticking them in a big-time match and cementing them as possible title contenders. Problem was, the match was incredibly boring and featured a horrendous twist of fate botch. And then the Usos ran in from the crowd and caused the DQ. Well, that sucked. But, I suppose it could have been worse. I mean, they could have lost their first match on the main roster. Oh, would you look at that? They did lose their first match on the main roster. What is the point of calling up acts from NXT if you're just going to keep them off TV for months on end and then bring them in just to lose and end up being another act on the roster? I'm not saying they should have won all the belts or beaten up all the main eventers, but is Jeff Hardy really doing anything with the US title? And did the Usos really need to beat Sanity on their first try? Why take an act like Sanity and sanitize them? And speaking of pointless NXT call-ups, call off the search, everyone. I found Andrade Cien Almas. He's doing backstage promos about nothing. Here's a fun fact for you guys. In the 11 weeks since Almas' main roster call-up, he's had 2 matches against local competitors and done nothing else. Good job, guys. I mean, it's not like in January he was NXT champion, having one of the best matches WWE will have all year long. It really says a lot about the SmackDown NXT call-ups when Raw has done more with No Way Jose. Becky Lynch continued her winning ways by tapping out Sonya Deville in a simple match, and backstage James Ellsworth ran into Ty Dillinger, who somehow has a worse haircut than I do. It's okay, everyone, call off the search. I found Ty Dillinger as well. Ellsworth and his genuine heel heat then came out to cut a promo on Asuka, where he revealed his new gimmick, a typical misogynist troll from Twitter. This could have legs as they're very easy to make fun of. He challenged Asuka to a match, but Paige answered instead. She revealed that Asuka wasn't here tonight, and Ellsworth knew that, hence why he laid down the challenge. She then announced Ellsworth would face Asuka next week, which sounds like a lot of fun. And in the main event, Bryan took on Harper in a really great match. Whereas every other match on the show was rest hold central, Harper and Bryan worked a brilliantly told strength versus speed story, apart from that one rest hold spot. But as Bryan fired back and got in the yes lock, Rowan jumped in for another DQ finish. It seemed like there was no hope for Bryan as he was beaten down by the Bludgeon Brothers until the mayor-elect of Knox County, Kane, made his WWE return. He and Bryan cleaned house, and after some brilliant teasing, hugged opted out to reunite Team Hell No. This was essentially WWE's version of the Golden Lovers reunion. Paige then closed the show by announcing they will take on Bludgeon Brothers at Extreme Rules for the tag team titles. This was an excellent end to the show, and the crowd popped huge for Kane and Bryan hugging. There were some real down points about the episode though, pointless NXT call-ups mostly, but the opening and main event matches were both really great. They continued to build towards Extreme Rules, and the closing moments of Team Hell No reuniting were excellent. This week's SmackDown Live is smacktastic. Seth Rollins is on the cover of WrestleTalk magazine issue 5, which you can order right now by clicking the image on screen. Go on, do it! I dare you! I double dare you! Do it! I've been Luke Owen, and that was wrestling.